Hi, I'm Diane Roberts. Welcome to this edition of the ASCD How-To series, How to Improve Content Understanding Using Reading Strategies. There's no question that reading and writing skills are critical for success in any subject. In order to provide a few illustrative examples of strategies that can be used to improve literacy skills while teaching another content area, we asked a pair of biology teachers at Falls Church High School in Virginia to let us visit their classrooms. We observed a variety of strategies for improving reading, vocabulary, and writing skills in the classrooms of Donna Johnson and Marcia Bellamy.
It's a policy of our school that we really incorporate reading strategies across the curriculum. There's a lot of terminology in biology. We consider science as a foreign language because of the volume of technical terms that you have to know with it. And they have to be able to communicate in all levels of a subject. So it doesn't matter whether they're in English or in biology or in math, they still need to be able to communicate and to be able to use vocabulary.
Living cells, prokaryotic and eukaryotic, have a plasma membrane that encloses their contents and serves as a semi-porous barrier.
We did some oral reading, and it's surprising in high school how many students really enjoy reading aloud.
Phospholipids tend to spontaneously aggregate by this mechanism whenever they are exposed to water.
Something that helps students in reading is having a highlighter. And so their instructions are to highlight any terms that they don't understand or that they want to talk about further and underline the organelles that they were reading about.
All right, as I'm walking around, I noticed quite a bit of highlighting. That's good. Everybody should have gotten a little strip of paper with some questions on it.
Once we finish with the reading activity, they have several questions they would answer and write those in their interactive notebook. So they had to be able to comprehend what they were reading to answer the questions.
Does anybody know what this is? I like biology because it is the study of life, and we are all living organisms, and I love to teach students about that through a variety of different strategies. Language is a big problem. Biology has a lot of vocabulary, a lot of terminology that students have to know and understand in order to really have a deeper understanding of the material. And that's the reason why I incorporate reading strategies, other skill builders, in order to get them to understand the material better. Working in groups of two, we're going to work on a warm-up. 2 minutes. I'm going to want you to quickly write what comes to mind when you think of the word cell. The word association activity that I've used in class, the brainstorm activity, where I throw out a word, and I want students to tell me what first comes to mind when you hear this word. It's just an immediate response. Put your brains together. Count of 3. Start writing. Scream it out to each other.
How about body cell?
Body cell.
I love the group work. Yeah. I can find out how the students associate this term within themselves. When they think about this word, where are they coming from? Where have you heard it before? Through hearing their responses, kind of figure out what they've learned before from other science classes. And then I know where I need to go. All right, guys. Let's share.
There are many different types of cells.
There are many different types of cells.
All cells have a nucleus.
Good. All right, Ainsley, you and your partner share.
People.
People.
Living things and being active.
Interesting choices. Let's see if all of your word associations are correct. And then I can go through and teach the correct meaning of the word. What we're going to do, I want them to leave with a deeper understanding of the material, and I want them to be able to tell other people about it.
I need you to turn to the back of your notebook, to your prefix-suffix list, the back of your interactive notebook. I'm going to add these words, and we're going to go through and discuss them.
I teach vocabulary in several different ways. One of the things is making sure students have a base, and we focus on things like the prefixes and suffixes of the words. So anytime we introduce a new word, a new term, we try to go back into something we've talked about already, and we'll highlight a prefix or a suffix and have the students to relate that to something they know.
Starting with hydrophobic. So what's the prefix here? Hydro. Hydro. We're pretty good on that one, right? Hydro means water. Well, how about phobic? Anybody have a phobia? You'd maybe talk about something that's common, and we relate those, and even allow students to bring terms in from English that they will look at it as something they know now. Oh, now I remember. I remember talking about that in a different class. All right, so we agree that phobic means fear. It actually means fear of. Okay? So, hydrophobic means fear of water. So the term, when you use hydrophobic, it could mean a person that fears water, they're hydrophobic, or it means something that does what to water? Repels water. Scares it away. There's some terms that they mean one thing in one subject and something else in another subject. And so we try to talk about those things to relate them together in our science classes.
We're going to be working on a foldable. And you're going to use your textbooks and the section 7.1 to make a foldable on the cell theory. I've used things like foldables, vocabulary strips, where students will write the word, the term on one side, and underneath they will write the definition, and then they may draw a picture that will associate the meaning of the word. And that's something that they should remember because they came up with it themselves. Use the remaining tabs to put your information. I also try to get students to use the dictionary. You can look up the meaning of the word, and then you can put it in your own words so that you can increase the understanding, really make it stick here. I get a variety of students who are really skilled and savvy about science, students who don't like science at all, and students who have never been good in science, and those students who are not really interested in science are the ones that I'm trying to capture and get them excited about it and ready to learn. As long as you keep a variety of things going on in the classroom, you can keep these students motivated, the students of today, motivated and interested in what you're trying to teach them. So the more I can do, the more variety of things I can do, it actually kind of keeps them captivated.
You need to write 25 words in those 25 blanks. You have more than 25 words here. Okay. We do a game called, a review game called Biology Bingo. And the whole purpose of that is just to give the kids some time to have some fun, but they also have to use things that they know. It's not just calling out a word and finding it. We put a twist on the regular old bingo game. The students actually, I'll give them a list of words, and in this particular bingo board, we have 25 blanks, and so I give them a list of at least 30 words. So they choose any 25 of those words and fill in on their own bingo sheet. And once they fill it in, then we start the game. Okay, first definition is a substance that dissolves another to form a solution. Water is a good example. And in the game, I read the definition, and then I place the definition on the overhead so they can see it, so they hear it and they see the definition. And they have to not only hear the definition, now they have to determine what the answer is, and then look on their board for the correct answer. The next one, outer skin of cell. Control what enters and exits the cell. Next one, extra layer that provides additional support to plant cells. Specialized proteins that act as a catalyst to speed up a chemical reaction, usually end in ASE.
Bingo.
You're like all quiet, let's see. If they do something that's fun and then they learn as a byproduct, it's okay. It's still, as long as they learned it.
And then chloroplasts, they're in plant cells and they are like help it, they like make food.
That's it. Great.
What we're going to do very quickly is a quick write, small quick write. So turn your paper over or find a space on your notebook paper What I've learned over the years as a teacher, writing as well as reading helps to increase student understanding of material. The quick write that I use in class has students either process something and then write about it very quickly. It is timed, because I just want to know what comes off the top of your head when you first see these terms. And I also want students to get in the habit of being able to explain why you chose those answers. And that gives me another insight as to their understanding. Now I'll put 3 words on the board: dandelion, brick, and beetle. I would like for you guys to write on your paper, do you think that these things are made up of cells? And explain your answer. Today in class, I wrote 3 words on the board, and I asked them if these things were made up of cells. What I was trying to find out if students would make the association between things that are living being made up of cells. It's something that we learned the first day of class, and that's another link back to something we've learned before, to their prior knowledge. Writing increases understanding. Write it, you'll remember it. Make sure it stays with you. I want to make sure that they understand the basic concept. I also want to make sure that they understand that the things that we learned the first day of class are interwoven into everything we're doing throughout the year. Time's up, guys. We're ready to share. Marco, please.
All right. For the dandelion, I put that it has cells because it can produce oxygen, so that help it produce oxygen. And also because it has a form. And for the brick, I put that it doesn't have cells because it can't move or it can't produce nothing. And for the beetle, I put it does because of the animal and it moves.
Okay.
So that means it has cells.
That means it has cells.
Yeah.
Very good. Most students did make the link towards the dandelion and the beetle being made up of cells because they were living.
The beetle is an insect and it's a bug, and it produces other things, so it's a cell.
Very good.
We have a Venn diagram activity, which is a type of graphic organizer to compare and contrast terms. And we decided to use the Venn diagram in a more tangible way, and I use it with pipe cleaners.
If you notice,
We have the students assemble pipe cleaners into little rings, and they work with a partner, and they create their 2 overlapping circles for a Venn diagram. That's your basic or classic Venn diagram. And in this activity, since everything we want is tangible, so they can move around, some manipulatives, they have the list of words, of vocabulary words, and cut them out, and they can move the words around. And working with a partner, they discuss where they think the term should go. And they have to agree where they're going to put them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this one does go here. It's just that this one has the nuclear brain and that one doesn't.
And after they have them in place, then they would share out with the class, and we'll talk about.
Eukaryotic cells do have membrane-bound organelles.
Under prokaryotic cells, the first organisms on Earth.
We share out by maybe putting it on the overhead or displaying it on a display board so they can see the answers, because you want them to end up with the correct answers. And then we take that information and give the students a few minutes to write that information in their interactive notebook. The Venn diagram could be a nice warm-up activity or a linking activity from prior things. And compare and contrasting is a skill that students really need to be able to master.
Reading, writing, science, and almost all the other subjects are interrelated. And in order to get a student to really understand what they're doing, you have to teach them all together.
Thanks for joining us. For more information on how to improve content understanding using reading strategies and other ASCD programs, visit the ASCD website at ascd.org.